Welcome to Rootstown Regenerative AF Podcast. I am Jamie Rosenthal, your host. This is going to be a podcast all about real talk on sustainability and urban regeneration. Climate change really sucks, but instead of doom scrolling, we're digging into real solutions.
I'm so excited to be here. I'm Tanjuria Willis. I am the founder of Atlanta Sustainable Fashion Week. This week is going to be bananas because we're preparing for our spring show. I created Sustainable Fashion Week really to bring awareness to textile waste, so I'm really excited to talk about that today.
Yeah, that's really one of the biggest parts of our conversation.
Yeah.
As you know, I used to be in the world of fashion, and still love it so much. I got out of it because I didn't find there was a lot. I was starting to get into sustainability, and it was during the time when a lot of like hipster farmers were starting to rise here in Atlanta. And I was like, oh my God, everyone, like all these really cool tattooed farmers are starting to do this. So I really like wanted to change my lifestyle. My wife and I had a baby and, or we got pregnant. She got pregnant. I didn't get pregnant, but she got pregnant.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been another show. And I realized like I wanted to do something that was more grounding. So we bought a farm. So I went right from fashion photography to farming, which was a really weird juxtaposition.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about you and what got you into this work. I mean, do you have a fashion like a seamstress background, a designer background?
No, I don't. So like you, the path is very interesting, you know, from fashion to farming. I do not have a background in fashion. I was always just a lover of fashion. But my background is actually electrical engineering.
That's right. You mentioned that.
Yes. So that crossover is always very eyebrow raising for people. But I've always been working in electrical engineering and working in a nuclear facility. I've always just noticed things indirectly about the environment and where those locations were placed and where we were working. And I started to really get interested in how sustainable fashion was presented to people when fast fashion came about.
Which was when?
So fast fashion really started evolving in like the early 2000s, right? And so that's when a lot of the manufacturing started to explode, and you started hearing a lot about sweatshops and all these other things. But you started seeing the quality disintegrate in the clothing. I never enjoyed it because I thought the quality was so abysmal. And so as I started to look at it and research how the fast fashion was really taking over, I started noticing that there were so many things chemical related things that were happening just in our world and in our environment. At the same time, 2013, I had my daughter. And at that time, when she turned about 4 years old, she used to get avid nosebleeds. Not knowing where, like she would wake up in the bed, puddle of blood at 4 or 5 years old. Just, I would be hysterical. And we had her all the testing and all of the things and nothing, you know, there were no allergies and no. So I really started focusing and looking at just how could I eliminate things. And I started looking at clothing and fabrics and things that we didn't talk about. And what I started noticing was the chemicals that were processing those things. A lot of times when you looked at the fine writing, it would say can cause cancer or can cause, asthma or can cause all of these other things. And so then I started getting angry because I felt like there was a conversation that was not being had, because clothing and fashion as a whole is so made to be superficial and pretty. It's pretty. And so that marketing drives us to negate that conversation of, is this healthy for me? We're putting these pieces on our skin, which is the largest organ on our body.
That's right.
And we're not even thinking about it. We're not even blinking. We're trusting that it's okay. And it's not okay.
Yeah, it's funny how in society more people are concerned with what we put in our body, which took a long that's the road I took. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like what are we putting in our body? And not a lot of people really understand that, yes, like your skin is a large organ, and it needs to not come in contact with like
Yes.
horrible chemicals. Like it's really, really important. And I find it kind of missing bits of information. And so you got to wonder where all that fast fashion, all those chemicals are like, when you say fast fashion, the first name that pops up is Shein, I guess, right? I guess that's, I don't want to pick on them, but, like huge, an H&M,
H&M, Shein, Fashion Nova, places like that, Zara, Yeah. And so what we have to be careful about as we are looking at these places is making sure that we don't look at the shiny thing of we recycle now. But we understand that there are still some background things of how they treat their factory workers, how their clothes are being made, and those chemicals, where the water contamination in the dyeing process, how it's being funneled into the water streams of the people that are making. So those are the things that we also have to consider. It's not just the surface programs.
So let's talk about something, as I mentioned to you off camera, I work in DeKalb County, working to transition all of the libraries into climate resiliency hubs.
Love.
Right? Which we need, we really, really need in society to understand like really how our earth and our planet works, what really good regenerative earth care looks like. And I find, like, when you and I talked about this at Super South several days ago, there is such a correlation to, like, we talk about food waste a lot.
Yes.
But like clothing waste and landfill. Yes. So like in DeKalb County, our landfill, the Seminole landfill. Yeah. Have you been? Have you taken a tour of this?
I have.
Was it not? When I saw seagulls there, I was like, something is wrong.
Is amiss, right?
Something is wrong. But like the majority of what I saw was food waste.
Yes. Lots of food waste.
Lots and lots of food waste. Lots of materials.
Lots of materials.
And I'm talking like clothing materials.
Yes.
Lots of landscape materials.
Yes.
And I think being a good steward and a good steward of our county, we should figure out how to divert that shit away from our landfill.
Yes, agreed.
It's just important. It's so important.
Yeah. And that's why I really wanted to do Sustainable Fashion Week, because it's not just about just the clothing. It's all of those pieces that connect the dots. Everything connects to fashion.
Right.
Water connects to fashion. Emissions connect to fashion. Energy connects to fashion. All of the ways that we touch, everything connects to fashion in some way, from manufacturing to everything else. And so I wanted to be able to really introduce it in a way that people could feel directly related. They could understand how it's not so overwhelming. I can make small changes. I can make really small, if it's just, I stopped today using plastic straws and use reusable straws. Or I no longer use Ziploc bags. I use the reusable containers. Those are small things that you can make.
We just talked about straws in our last episode.
Yeah, I mean, all of those things. This T-shirt has holes in it. Now I can use it as a cleaning rag.
That's right.
Or I can make a tote bag out of it. Or I can use it to hold apples or things. Or just being able to do small things like that.
We are such a wasteful society.
Yes, we are.
And one of the things, so my daughter is getting into fashion. She's following in her dad's footsteps. Which
awesome.
I love. She's going to Vogue school in New York.
Yay.
And I think it's going to be a great opportunity. But she knows and understands the sustainable side, but she still shops at Zara. I had to pull her out of Zara in Paris. I was like, what are you doing at Zara in Paris? Like, I find this whole industry very interesting, because when I was growing up in the industry, I bought a pair of Prada shades. I didn't buy a whole lot that was really nice, but when I bought something, I coveted it. I was like, I'm going to take care of it. It's my precious, right? And I babied it and took care of it until it falls apart. So like when you buy things that are really cheap, they fall apart really quick. So I'm trying to teach my daughter, I'm like, buy something nice. Like if you're going to buy something that's in a fashion brand, buy something that's real, like hate to say I don't promote real leather necessarily, but I do like it. Sorry for you vegans out there, you get some hate mail, but buy some good leather shoes because they're gonna last almost a lifetime. But it's really hard to get that message through to young people because they see the shiny things, the fast fashion things, but they don't understand the repercussions. They don't understand that's gonna end up in a landfill for 20,000 years.
Right. And part of it is social media.
Oh, yeah.
And, they want the new thing. They don't want to present as if they've worn that thing 5 times
that
on
was so
social.
Last season.
Right, exactly. We have a duty to demand because it's supply and demand. And if we keep allowing brands and companies to do it, they'll continue to do it because we keep buying it and we keep, So until we decide that I am going to hold this brand accountable and I'm not going to keep shopping. I'm not going to allow them to create a new collection every week and shift back to the time when we had 4 collections, for a season, at that point, or even 2. That's when things will start to change. And the tough part for, my daughter, we have that back and forth all the time. She's always trying to find something. What I do with her is I'll say, okay, let's at least look for that thing that's in a material, in a fabric that is biodegradable or that will not be sucked in plastic into the earth.
If it's going to be fast fashion, it should biodegrade really quick, right?
So if that's the case, okay, so you want that shirt, can it be cotton instead of polyester?
Right.
Start looking at things like that. So try to make it a little bit easier for them because they want the style, they want the thing. So how can we help them get there and do better by the environment at the same time?
Well, I have to ask you, what are you seeing as being one of the most innovative pushes towards sustainability in the fashion industry right now?
One of the things that I see a lot that's moving now is a lot of 3D design and using reused materials. So 3D printing using reused materials, 3D design, so that we're not wasting patterning and things like that, but even printing on demand. That is that's a lot of what I'm seeing, which is really exciting.
Could you imagine, I had this discussion with somebody recently, that we have like a maker box in our home, in our apartment or whatever, and we take our clothes or our pants. I'm like, I don't like the way these fit, and I want a wider fit. So then you add your materials in, and it just like, it takes care of it for you. I think that's kind of where it might be heading, right?
It's heading that way. There is some research going on for things like that. We will start to see that in the near future.
So let's take a quick break to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, new sponsor and really good dear friends of mine, the Microlife Institute. I want to say thank you, Will Johnston. They're all about less space, more life. I also want to say thank you so much, Thomas Billups from Billups Homes. He is the real deal. Yes, builders are getting in the game to fight for climate action. We will give all these links and let you guys get a hold of these people so you can see the great work that they do. Thank you, sponsors, for season 2.
I want to ask you, what brands do you absolutely love that are doing the right thing right now? Are you following any brands anywhere in our country, outside of our country, that you're just like, man, they're really doing it right?
I think one of my favorite brands, because so many people love denim and they're always trying to find denim and jeans, Mud Jeans.
Really?
Yes. They are amazing. They are B Corp. They recycle. They do repairs. They don't use the synthetic dyes. They're one of my favorites as far as, because I think everybody wants a pair of denim jeans. And denim has this love-hate of, it's cotton, but a lot of the companies use synthetic materials now and synthetic dyes. And so they've really done it right.
Do they mix a little bit of I love jeans with a little bit of elastane in them.
Yeah, they do have some with some in them.
Like
yes,
a 1% or a 2%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are a really good company. There are several companies in the Netherlands that I absolutely love. And our European partners, they have really done a really good job at focusing on sustainability with their brands. I also very much like independent brands here. There's a brand that actually will be in our show on Friday. His name is Gil Christ, and he does amazing. When you see the pieces that he creates out of whether it's zippers or ties or t-shirts, he is very cutting edge, very couture, but very, very nice pieces. I love supporting independent brands because I think a lot of times our independent brands get the short end of the stick, especially when it comes to places where the major brands kind of steal their designs and manufacture them before they can get out.
Right.
Really supporting those independent brands are our way to go.
Yeah, local, always.
Local, always. And they're authentic. You're usually getting a one of one a piece. Everyone talks about authenticity, but that's the best way to be authentic, to get a piece that nobody makes. There's another local designer who I love and I wear her pieces often. Her name is Kofi. She makes a lot of like skirts out of men's shirts and, and really repurposing very much into a zero waste. So she does use leather, but she's into the reusable leather and zero waste leather, like losing all the pieces, not using new naps and things like that.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. I can't wait. So I just want to more than gently plug your event and make sure you let people know that it's happening. I have been thinking creativity is my way out of being climate anxious or just being anxious in general. And one of the things I really miss is being a part of this industry.
Yeah.
I really love the fact that we met, and I love the fact that we're going to collaborate on something really great. So I want the audience to know how to find you, how to find this awesome event. Is the event going to be free or is it paid?
It is ticketed.
Okay.
It is a ticketed event, but it is so exciting. I am so excited. It's on Friday. It's our spring show, our spring fashion show, and it's in collaboration with Atlanta Film Festival. Doors open at 5. We'll have some vendors there. They have some great upcycle things for you to shop, but we're also going to do a couple of short film screenings. I do a residency with Drew Charter Academy, middle school and high school. We do a 6-week residency. So a few of the students will be showcasing, most of them have never sewed in their life. They'll be showcasing the piece that they made in that 6 weeks.
Dope. That's going to be awesome.
I'm really excited to showcase them. That is a collaboration with National Black Arts Festival that we have. The really big thing is we've got some surprises that we're going to have. And then the big thing is our collaboration with college football playoffs, that we are going to be upcycling the game day banners that you may have seen on the buildings and in Mercedes-Benz Stadium during college football playoffs.
Is that all those banners right there in front of us?
That is all of these banners.
Jeez,
and
that's
more.
One thing you think about, that is a serious
So
waste
just imagine
problem.
all of this going to the landfill. We'll be upcycling these banners and some of these banners, and you'll see designers upcycling them into some amazing fashions. So we're going to be previewing that as well, along with some other designers that's going to be featured. And it ends with an after party. So you can't miss the after party. Dance party song. It's going to be dope.
Okay.
Okay.
So what's the time? From when to when?
So the doors open at 5, and the event will end at 12 midnight.
Good God. I'm going to have to hydrate and get myself ready for it.
It's going to be so much fun.
My little event at Pond City Market's 2 hours from 4 to 6. It's for the old people. Now, I hope the young people show up. But I love this. I love that we met. I love that we can get involved. I want to end on a question. So, and it may be silly. Describe in a perfect world what you want to see in the fashion industry. What is to you, what would be the utopian idea of what the fashion industry looks like?
Yeah, honesty.
Integrity. Shit, well, that's hard.
Yeah. And with B Corps, people over profit. I mean, think about people's health. Think about how you can be profitable and still be good to the environment.
That's right.
And so
and your products can still look dope.
And
These glasses are B Corp
absolutely.
certified, and it's a company out of France that they make in France. And I was like, you're B Corp certified, I'm buying you.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
I was hard to not buy it.
It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. And there are some large organizations that are trying to work with your big box department stores to try to do that. Be accountable and do the right thing. But in the meantime, come see us.
Yeah.
So
yes, indeed. I always become very leery of like a really big company or a really small company trying to make it inside of a big company. When I start seeing you in Target, I'm like, okay, something went wrong here. Like, I know you want money.
It's hard, companies and small box companies, they want to be big, they want to be large, and I get it. There are some things with scaling, that's always difficult, and I get that. But there are manufacturers now who are clean manufacturing that can help these companies scale. And so we can talk about it. That's one of the things that we try to do is be there for the designers to help them to scale and to create all those things. Buy tickets, come see us. We're at sustainablefw.com. You can also get tickets through the Atlanta Film Festival website, and we're going to have a good time. The schedule is on the website, so you can see when things are.
I will be there, I promise.
I can't wait.
Sounds
it's
like
going to be fun. It's going to be a blast.
So if you guys are looking to talk more about sustainable things like this, yes, like there's a correlation between fashion and food waste and all the things. We're a part of this planet, and everything we wear is a part of this planet. I'm speaking to you, like county government. I'm speaking to you, local government. If we want to keep fashion waste out of our landfill, then let's hire Tanjuria.
Yeah.
She'll help you out.
And we can do it.
Yeah,
even
we can
with
do
food. There are companies now that make leather out of mango skins and avocado skins. Again,
if my clothes smells like
the,
a mango, I swear to God, I'm gonna have a hard time not licking that shit. It's like my favorite fruit in the whole wide world. I'll be like,
yeah. So let's do it. We can do it. Let's change the world. One mango at a time.
One mango at a time. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you being on this podcast. It's really, really dope.
Thank you again for having me.
Like, subscribe, and share. Do it like your planet depends on it, because it kind of does. Let's build better cities together and join the urban regenerative movement at rootsdownga.com.